Hope we're all doing really well this evening. So I'm as promised. I am streaming from my phone because again I've turning on the laptop. I wanted just to get this out there. I have to be fair and even-handed in this. I need to turn that down a bit. So, as I promised, as I do, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. Whenever I get an alert to my phone, if I think it's worthy of reporting, if I think it's worthy of jumping on here to let you guys know what is going on. Just need to move this around a second. Done that. So, as we went with, and I went with this because I absolutely, there's too many things for me, and things make sense, and I'll give you my opinion on it as well. So in the last hour, the internet has been going mad. X has been going mad. There's reports out there from people like the Metro, from the Sun, from the Daily Mail, and various accounts that actually, in fact, as of the last hour, Šeško's actually done a U-turn, contrary to what I said today, contrary to what we believe today, contrary to what we reported from Ross Harwood today, that Šeško's actually made a U-turn and actually chosen to go to Newcastle. So in a turn of events, it looks like, if you believe what is true, and I can tell you where it's come from. I can't remember the name of the source, but it has come from a Slovenian reporter, and everybody's jumped on this. So the Sun has gone with this as well, the Metro, the Daily Mail. Now, in regards to the Daily Mail, so Craig Hope, who is the Northern correspondent for the Daily Mail, he kind of led with that Newcastle have pulled out of the race, and that, you know, Isak is not going to go to Liverpool. You know, and for me, as I said, everything I do is based on logic. Everything that I say, I base it on what I think happens to be true. Chief Earth says, "Holy shit!" Now, obviously, this is not by no means clickbait. This is what I said. Whatever I do, and if I think it's reporting or worth reporting and coming on here, because, you know, I've put myself into the camp of Ross Harwood because I believe it to be true. Now, I still do believe it to be true. So it's come from a Slovenian reporter. Now, Šeško is from Slovenia, and this person has come out and basically said that Šeško has basically done a U-turn. Now, contrary to that, now I do need to say this, and I need to be fair and balanced on this, is that the Metro, the Sun, the Daily Mail, and a lot of other aggregator accounts have jumped on all over this, and they're going with the Šeško has done a U-turn on this. Now, there are lots of contrary aggregator accounts. Ross Harwood, again, who I'm going to back on this one, has also come out and said that these stories are not true. Do not believe these stories, and that these stories are false. Shifa, I mean, they did the same thing with Gyökeres transfer push into United, but as we say, I have to be balanced. I cannot dissuade, and I've said on here today, and we went early with it. We have spoke about it on here. I mean, pushing Arsenal to get him fast. And what I did say was, I think that this deal was going to go quick. So my stance on it, I'm going to try to put my phone something because my arm is blinking, hurting, is that what I said on the subject, let's see if I can get this up here, is that, oh God, let's see if I can get this up here. So basically what I've said is that over the last couple of days, see if I can bring that down, is that what makes sense to me is that United need a striker. And, you know, Fabrizio and everybody else has sort of reported on this. I'm going to turn that down over there a little bit. try and get this light right, is that United were looking at doing or trying to go for, so just join what's the update. So according to a bunch of reports that have just come out in the last hour, and I need to be fair on this one, they've come from the Metro, the Sun, the Daily Mail. They've jumped all over this. The only one thing is no one is reliable, has anything said exactly, Neil. And I'll give you my opinions for what it's worth, and kind of we can quickly talk about this. So exactly, nobody's credible has come out. Now I've got to be fair. I can't be a hypocrite on this. So I based on what I believe of what United are trying to do, based on loads of other reports, I went with Ross Harwood today. Okay, I still believe he's right. I still believe that we have entered negotiations. We've been talking to this player for a while, and the only way that this is true is if we've literally walked away from this deal. If we've bottled this deal and we've walked away from this deal, this is or Newcastle have come out with an audacious, massive, huge bid that Sesko cannot turn down, and Newcastle have just literally gone full ball for this deal. This has been reported by loads of aggregator accounts, and obviously the Sun, the Daily Mail, the Metro. I'm on my phones. I can't really bring everything up now. However, I'm still going to stand by what we broke, not what we broke, but what we went with today. What I went with today is that I don't believe that this is true. There is also contradictory, and as let's go to the chat, as Neil said, nobody reliable is come out and said that this is true. To the contrary, Craig Hope, even today, who is works for the Daily Mail, who works up north, he's good in with all this. If he comes out and says it in the next 10 to 15 minutes, then I would be concerned. Right now, I'm not concerned. Ross Harwood, who I went with today, is saying that this is not true. There's a load of other aggregator accounts saying that this is simply not true. This has come from a Slovenian reporter. I can't remember his name. I should have wrote it down. I kind of saw this and went, holy moly, and jumped onto this because I think this is really important to get this out there as well. It all seems to have stemmed from that. A load of journalists, a load of papers have jumped all over this one. I simply do not believe it's true. And we can talk about if it is true. But again, people have said, and this is the danger, like for me, when I believe something and I've had to go with what I believe is true, and I still believe that United are going to do this deal and they're going to move double quick now. I believe that. So until, obviously, unless an Ornstein comes out and says it and a Romano comes out and says it, I don't necessarily wait for that. I think some things make sense in my head. Now, today, and I still believe that this makes sense, that United is still the bigger draw. But for me, the only way, suggested someone is late, is up late. Mate, I was literally about to go to bed. And as I always say, if anything breaks and I think it's important to talk about, I will jump back on it and report it straight away. 35% United get Sesko. Lucky Singh says fake news. Said it in the morning as well. 65, it goes to Newcastle. They got more money than us. And again, my opinion, and I went with all in for Sesko. I do think that that is still the case. And there's people like Joel, who's a legend of the chat, and a mod. Again, all speak sense. And my friend, if you're right, then it means that we've dropped the ball. So this is where I'm at on it, and I do agree with Lucky, who is, I think it is fake news. I do believe that, and again, this is not clickbait. This is me coming on here, and I need to report. And I think this is really important because it is to do with us and to do with a striker. So I do believe that this is fake news. I think there's a Slovenia reporter who reported this, and I do think it's fake news. I still believe, but I do see those who are saying he's going to Newcastle. And again, Joe, I cannot say that you're wrong on that. I was of the opinion that United need to move, and for me personally, it was a case of we needed to do a deal. A Newcastle being there is going to make us do this move. Now, to go to Joe, and to be fair, and I have to be balanced in this. So, what I think is this: I think it's fake news, and what's my camera doing? So I think it's fake news. That's where I am on it right now. I think it's come from a Slovenia reporter who may be trying to make a name for himself, which is trying to cause an issue. But I have to be even-handed and balanced. Joe is completely right. Nobody like an Ornstein or a Romano, because those two are the ones that get everything. Credibility-wise, those two, when they come out and say it, is pretty much deal done. But there are people that are close. Plettenberg, for example, tier 1 in the Bundesliga, comes out and says stuff. So you get the top tiers as those two are the goats, Fabrizio and Ornstein, and then you kind of get the ones underneath who are good and they get stuff and they go with what they think is right. I think the only way this happens for Newcastle is if they've gone in with a massive bid, and this is not going to come out until tomorrow. So I still believe that this is not true. I do think it's fake news, but it's going to be really interesting tomorrow morning to see what happens. So the only way for me that this happens is that Newcastle have come in and gone, look, we need to get this deal done. We need to act like a big club, and they've come in with an extortionate offer which we can't match, and they've offered Sesko a huge amount of money, and Sesko's gone, do you know what? They're going to make me the face of this project. I've got Champions League. They're going to pay me 400k, 300k a week, which they can do. Isak is going to go. They know they've got that money. They know they've got 130, 140 mil to come in. And then they've gone to Leipzig and gone, look, we'll give you 80 million and Sesko, that they've gone, because Sesko is big on doing the right thing by Leipzig. So I think that's the only way that this has happened. And I truly believe that we are very close to negotiating, because at the end of the day, we can be in negotiations and the deal nearly be done. The player can agree to come to us until it's signed. Until it is signed, and the player can agree, I believe. All this from Ross Howard. But Newcastle may have gone tonight, look, if we don't go and get Sesko, then we're screwed. So it could be, and it will come out tomorrow morning, that Newcastle put in an absolute massive bid, and the desperation has forced them to offer an absolute huge amount. So I think we're going to see that tomorrow. I'm in the camp is that this is fake news. So I'm with Lucky, I'm with Tommy, well, I'm with Mark on this one. I think it's fake news. I think it's been put out there just to ruffle some feathers on this one. Unless somebody knows something that Newcastle have just gone in and stuck a massive bid in there, then I really don't know. Who else have we got? Look for the chat. So Jacobs, so Ben. Nothing on this source. Plus Sesko just waiting, looking to get a family settled. Manchester United. Exactly. I am in your camp. I believe that this is fake news. It will come out tomorrow that it's fake news. I believe Ross Harwood. I believe that we were correct today. I have to Joel, who's a legend of the chat, and a mod, and he brings it back down to earth, and that's what I do like about Joel. Joel, again, he's been right. He's been very what's the word, balanced on this as well. Whereas I'm balanced in terms of what I think is right. Joel has been the yin to my yang, and has said that he's got a feeling that Newcastle will probably get the deal done. And again, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about what's going to happen, right? And as a club, we all want the best for this club. But I do really think right now I'm not concerned as such. And I do believe they want to they want to cause maybe some havoc. But I do believe that's done. There is a super chat there saying that if he does go to Newcastle, where do we go next? Where we go next, if this transpires to be true, then we're basically going to go pay 60 million for Watkins. That's it, lucky. Sloveniana, is it? Yeah, I believe this is a fake source. Tommy says if we can get the likes of Garnacho, Sancho, Anthony Soldes, AP will be able to go and put a good bid in for Sesko. I think Sesko deal, Tommy, is going to get done, mate. I believe it's done. I truly believe, I'm holding on to this, that it's done. I think we've negotiated with the player. I think the terms are done. I think we've acted quickly. I'm going to Leipzig. There is a gentleman's agreement apparently there for the right club. And I just think we've moved fast on this one, and I truly do believe that this is fake news, just there. The Hexian betting odds slashed is concerning. Though, Neil, I agree with you. The longer this goes on, and if the bets are slashed, the betting odds are one of those weird things, right? Whereby you can go. I never go by the betting odds because they do follow social media, whether they're right or wrong. Betting odds are a good indication, but for me, I don't really listen to them as such. But again, we are looking for indications. Joel says I do think that Rasmus will be the one to ruin the deal. And Joel, again, my friend, something that I didn't think about, and this is why this chat is incredible, even at this late hour. Is that has Rasmus refused to go? Is it a case of RB have said, look, we can negotiate the deal, the terms of the deal, and I still believe that that's all been done, and Sesko wants to come. And as Joel's made again an incredible point that I didn't even think about. Do they want Rasmus? And we've said no. And Leipzig are like, well, then we can't get this deal done because we need a striker, because that's what they need. So has Rasmus inadvertently stopped this deal? Have Newcastle? So again, like I did, well, I went with this and said that the reasons why I believe this deal was going to get done quick and is get done. Let's break it down and look as to why the reasoning now that the deal may not get done and swung the other way. So there are a couple of moving parts to this. So Newcastle need a striker. They want Sesko. That is what they want. Now, if Isak goes, they know Isak is going to go for about 130 to 140 million. So they signed Sesko for 80, potentially 50, 60 million in their bank account after this deal happens. So Newcastle do have the funds. And if they're audacious enough, they can go to Leipzig and go, look, we'll give you this money. Sesko will give you 400k a week, and we want you as the face of the project. We've got Champions League, and we want you to lead us into the Champions League. That could work. As Giles correctly said as well, Rasmus. The reports are that they want Rasmus. They see him as an ideal replacement, but have United now and Amberin said, well, actually, no. We want him. We want to keep him. So is that potentially scupper that deal? And again, Joel, that's a fantastic point. Mike Candy says, "Do you have an ADHD? Settle down, Mark. I won't settle down, my friend. Um, again, as I say, when you come on this chat, you can have opinions. I'm just putting my opinion across. Um, and again, I will answer most opinions. But when this is something I feel passionate about, and I think this is important to report, I'm not going to settle down. If it's something that you don't like, then you'll feel free to vacate comments. That's up to you. But I'm just reporting this. I'm just trying to get it out there as much as I can. So I think it's really important to come on today. I think where we are right now is I still personally believe, and you can believe and think what you like. It's your opinion too. I'm going to go with right now. This is fake news. I do believe it's still fake news, and I believe that we're going to get this deal done, and we're going to try and push this deal done over the line, possibly tomorrow. The only way I don't see this deal getting done is if Rasmus, they wanted him and we couldn't do a deal over that, and or Newcastle just gone in with a huge bid and they've blown us out of the water and they've just gone and got that player, and that's where I think that we're going to land with this. So just watch out for reports. Tommy, again, my personal opinion is he wants United. Um, let's have a look on that. Joel, do you think so? Good question, though. Trying to get a house. Lucky. My personal opinion is that he wants. I agree with you, my friend. I do think that he wants that. So the Donnarumma news, Tommy, do we think that's real or fake? I'm of the opinion that he's using us because I think he either wants a new deal. I mean, with him, I would like him. It would be a great deal, and I would love to be able to do that deal. But I think it's not fake news. I think that he's trying to use us to get a better deal with PSG, but Chevalier has gone to PSG. He's going to want 300k a week. So I think he's probably going to run his deal down, knowing that somebody next year will give him 300k. Will give him 300k a year. So I would love to think that we could get him. I don't think it's fake news. I don't think that's what it is. I think we're being used. I think we are being used by him because that is what happens. But if there's a deal that we could do for him, then I'd happily welcome him. But again, we need to get this Sesko or striker deal over the line, and then I think a goalkeeper or a midfielder will come in towards the end of the window if they do come in at all. Lucky fake news is not a lot of people known to this journalist. Yes, but we do have to be aware that obviously the Metro, the Sun, the Daily Mail. Now, contradictory to that, the Daily Mail have gone with that, but Craig Hope, who is a journalist up north for the Daily Mail, also says that Newcastle looks like they're going to pull out of this deal and that United have won this race. So that was this afternoon, and now they've kind of switched it around. So I'm in the camp of fake news. I think the papers and the four headlines and clicks, and they won't come out and they won't necessarily come out and explain this. You know, I think it's really important. Because I've reported or I've gone one camp, I think it's equally as important to have a balanced opinion and then go like this is what I believe, but this is what could happen. So I think where we are ultimately, I think this is where we are, is that United, I still believe, are going to get this deal done. They've gone in all guns blazing. I think that we've been talking to Sesko for a long time. I think we've pretty much there or thereabouts got the deal with Leipzig. We just need the structure, and I think we're going to get this deal done. The Donnarumma is just someone is it's forced it on us exactly. The contrary to what I'm saying is if, as Giles said, and I think it's a cracking comment, probably the comment so far of the stream, is that did RB Leipzig, because they did say that Højlund is their dream signing, second for they're next in line. Has Rasmus refused to go? Has that potentially scuppered the deal? If that has, I wouldn't. I think all the credit that Højlund has got, I think that will dissipate really quick. So I just hope that that's not true, or Newcastle have come in with an absolute audacious bid because they've got the money. They know Isak can go for 130 mil, and they've come in with an absolute atrociously huge bid, offered the player like money, cars, family, everything, going to pay him a dirty great big wage and going to make him the absolute star. And they've wooed him with, we're going to make you this massive star. You're going to be this key in the Champions League. You're going to do everything we can, and they're going to pay an extortionate amount of money. So if that does come out tomorrow, then I think we should be ready to embrace that. And then where do we go after that? Well, Watkins, but Jackson from Chelsea, I do not. If he's linked to us, then I worry. So let's just see what develops. I still think it's fake news. Tommy says, did you see something earlier saying that Newcastle were interested in Ollie Watkins? Yes. Yes, I did. Again, you reminded me, Tommy. So thank you for that. I did write that down. So the next thing, and as we said on here as well, in the earlier show before we did probably about 3-4 o'clock, there are reports that now Newcastle, and that's what we said on here, the most logical move for Newcastle is to go to the Watkins deal. I think he suits them down to the ground. Again, it will be cheaper than Sesko as well. Now they signed him for 60 million, and exactly, Craig Hope is new, exactly lucky. And the logic of what was coming out from them is that now Newcastle are looking for Watkins and looking for that deal, and that makes complete sense. I think I'm not going to lie. I have said that I can see Sesko in a Newcastle shirt, but that was before they came in, made the big deal, forced our hand, and that's where we are. So exactly. So lucky, I'm not worried. I'm not worried just yet. But I thought it was really important that I report on this, come and give you my opinion, because I'm the first to jump on things and say, look, I'll give you my opinion as to why I think we're going to get Sesko. But I think it's also important to be balanced and go, well, actually now, am I completely wrong? Is what I thought incorrect and not right? Sometimes we get things wrong, but if I get this wrong, I would like to know the reasons behind it, and I think one of the major reasons will be that Newcastle have made an absolute huge bid. So I'm not worried just yet. I'm not concerned just yet. I will be more concerned tomorrow morning if kind of Ornstein comes out and says it, if Fabrizio. But right now, it's just more so to be aware. Obviously, this is an exciting time. It excites the fan base, of course it does. This is where we are. So that's what's come out so far. I thought I would come on and just talk about it, let you guys know I'm not concerned right now. I am not concerned. Should I be? Maybe it's naivety. It's not something that I typically am, but I do believe that we're going to get this done tomorrow, and it's going to be exposed as fake news. And if that's true, feel free, come on here, give me a like, subscribe. If I am wrong and he goes to Newcastle, feel free to come on and tell me that I'm wrong as well. And we can start debating where we go next. I'm more than happy to walk you through why I think I'm right. Also, you know, again, I'm happy to be incorrect in things, and you know, there's so many people in this chat who have a different opinion to me, and you know, I think it's really right to discuss all opinions. And lucky, my friend, aware, not that much concern. Yeah, I'm not concerned. Or transfer Benjamin Šeško. I'm not concerned. I'm really am not concerned. I think this is a fake news, and I think loads of people have bitten on it. Um, I'm just reporting it. Maybe I'm trying to give you comfort. Maybe I'm trying to give me some comfort. But I do believe this is fake. And I don't think it's right. So let's see what develops. I am going to go to bed now. Been a long old day. Um, as I say, thank you so much for being in the chat. Obviously, as I always say, try and be as respectful as we can. I don't like to tell people off in the chat. I'm not a dictator type. Obviously, if you come into the chat, tell me that I have ADHD and tell me to settle down. Obviously, that's not respectful, and I will have a problem with that, and I will call you out on that one. Other than that, you know, let's keep it respectful. You know, people have their opinions. People do things in the way that they do. Other than that, you know, again, what a community I have here. I feel very fortunate and lucky to be here. You've given me your time as well. I will always say this: the one thing you cannot buy is time, and you've given me your minutes, your hours is really important to me, especially at this late time of day. Wherever you are in the world, we are building a global community here, and it's really important that we do that. And as I say, my promise and my commitment is, if anything breaks, whether it's good or bad, whether I'm right or wrong, I will come and I will report the news and get your opinions on it. Um, and let's hope that we get this Šeško deal done. So thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments. I'll try and put my X and stuff on there. Let me know what happens, and then if anything develops further, I'll jump back on again. Hopefully not this side of the morning. And I will see you tomorrow, hopefully with some better news, but it gives us something to talk about, right? So thank you for watching, and fingers crossed that this is a load of garbage, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Good night and take care.